follow the path, you must. What is up, everybody? I'm Kenneth Althor, welcoming you to another tutorial on modding for Firework Mania. And if you're not smart, this is a place for you, because I'm basically not smart myself, and so if I teach dumb people dumb things, then it should come through with it. I don't know what I was expecting to go with it there, but there you are. Guys, it is finally time to build your first mod. And actually, in order to build this mod, you'll need to create from mod tools, create new mod. Wow, we're going places. Alright, you want to call this your new mod or whatever you want to call it. For now, I would just call it, I don't know, my first mod. Now check this out. Create in folder assets, but I want you to type in the words /mod and then create mod. Now that's it. We've created our first mod. There we go. I'm kidding. There's a lot more we have to go. Alright, so you've made your first mod, but before we actually start doing anything in this folder, I want to know the path location. Alright, because you have to export it somewhere, right? You gotta export it somewhere. So what I want you to do is you need to go to export settings. And here's where you do the finer details. You got the my first mod, version number, mod author, whatever your name is going to be right here. In my case, it's Canoe Studios, but I'll just result to default company. We need the mod export directory. Hit these dots, please. And here's a little trick to get to this little game, the project files, in order to actually build it into the game for testing. And what I want you to do is hit %appdata % enter. It'll take you to appdata roaming, but you don't want to go to roaming. I want you to go back one. Sorry, I meant this way. You see app data, you want to select local low, and then Lumania app s, Fireworks Mania, and mods. Now you select folder, and using this you can grab any mod file that you currently have, and it will test it for you. So that's great to know. Let's look at this. Optimize for not build time, optimize for file size. And then everything else is just, you don't need to change. You can exit that now. Now, in order to test this, you need to build the mod. So there's two ways you can do it. You can use the exporter, and if you want, you can put this in here if you wanted. Remember how I did that? There was an episode about that. I believe that was episode 3 that I showed you how to do that. And then just build mod, and it will do the things, and it should pop up the moment it's finished. And there it is. Congratulations, you made your first mod. Now, unfortunately, there's nothing in it, so we gotta fill that nothing with something. And we will get to that maybe today. Do we think we have enough time today? Sure, why not? Now, there is a saying, chat. Good composers borrow. Great composers steal. And today we're going to be yoinking Lumania's own project for our own. How you do that, you go to select, I should probably do that again. You want to select packages because his mod tools are located inside packages. Select this, Fireworks Mania, mod samples. You want prefabs. What on earth is a prefab? I might make a separate vocabulary episode doing definitions for prefabs. And here we go. Speaking of definitions, we will get to that, okay? Alright, so we want cake, dummy cake. What should we do first? You feeling like you should do a cake first? You probably should do a tube first, something simple. So I want you to select that and put it in your hierarchy. Or you can just put it in here, but I'm not going to do that because that would be doubling, and we don't want that. Alright, so now we have our first tube, but we don't want it here. We want it here in whatever this is. Now, I've been noticing if you make like a separate folder for each kind of new tube that you make, it's much more easier for the eyes, but for this purposes, we just want the basic necessities. So let's go ahead and make your first tube, shall we? We need to create a new folder. We're gonna call this my first tube, or whatever you want to call it. And we want to open the folder up and then put this dummy into this folder. It will ask a question. Would you like to create a new one or a variant? We do not want the original. We want a variant. If we have the original, it will change the one that we just got it from. We don't want that. We want prefab variant. Alright, so now it's in here. You don't need it in this scene anymore. Don't worry, it won't get rid of it. Just hit the delete key on your button and it will disappear here. Now let's go ahead and rename this thusly my first tube. Here we go. In order for the game to understand what this tube is and referencing to it, we need a definition. Go ahead and create in your right click in your project file and create a new Firework Mania definition that is entity, Firework entity definition. You will call it my first tube as always. Basically what the name of your firework is going to be. It could be constellation, for example. And the ID can be the same. Now it would be, you could just copy paste this, or you could right click on the inspector, little thing right here, set ID to file name, and it does it automatically for you. Now here's a little thing I found out the hard way. You can find this prefab game object. You should definitely put it in here. If it gives you a red one, we will get to that in a moment. Item name is going to be called my first tube, whatever your name is. The icon, well, we can have any icon you want, but for now, just leave it as none. We'll teach you about icons later. Definition type, you definitely need to pay attention to this. Go ahead and click on this, and then click on the eye toggle button, this thing right here, and go ahead and select tube. This actually categorizes it in game, and it will do it automatically for you. Now, you may have noticed these things. My first tube has prefab, but it just has it as its base definition. Let's go ahead and fix that by selecting this. Just casually selecting it, it will come to this entity definition. You need to change this. So go ahead and drag drop my first tube. Now it will say it's different on savable entity, and you need to do that so it can save load. So I want you to drag and drop here to the savable entity. And arrows seem to be stuck, so keep on clearing it, and it should be good to go. So go ahead and save it and build this mod using those settings. Wait, that's it? Just those two things to build my first tube? Yes! That is literally it. And after this thing is built, we will go ahead and test it in game. And I will see you there. Am I still recording? Am I on? Okay. Are we done? Okay. Yeah, we're still loading. Okay. Now, the first build is going to take a while. It needs to compile everything from an instance and put it in there. And once it's in there, it's there for good. And it'll be less. Anyway, let's go ahead and start. You don't need to go to workshop or anything to enable anything. All you have to do is select flatland, and we'll test our first tube. Alright, you notice that there's a new thing called umod compiled. Now once you select it again, it's going to disappear. That means it must have worked. Yeah, it's a temporary file that builds the mod for you. And here we are in our first game. Let's go ahead and see if our new tube is in here. Let's go ahead to workshop, tubes, my first tube, and if it doesn't give you a straight blue thing, then you've made your first mod. Here we go. Ooh. And now give yourself a round of applause for making your first mod and putting it in Firework Mania. Now you're probably asking, I want a different color, Kenneth. I want bigger boom. I want bigger tube. I just want bigger everything. And I will answer those questions next time. So keep tuned, everybody. Hit the like, subscribe button, and I will see you in the next episode. But until then, I bid you and your household peace. Class is dismissed. Hope you learned something today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.